Do you ever feel like your ads are just screaming into the void? Nobody's responding to them, and there's a big fat 0 in the conversion column. Let's uncover the mystery behind underperforming Facebook and Google ad campaign. I'm qualified to speak on this subject because I've been running an SMMA since 2017 with my best friend, David. And on top of that, I've personally spent over 7 figures in ad spend for my business and my clients' businesses. So what are you gonna get out of this video? Number 1, you're gonna get clear, actionable, and technical steps that you can troubleshoot any ad, whether it's on Facebook or Google. Number 2, I'm gonna show you how to spot issues in your creative. And number 3, I'm gonna show you how to optimize the offer so you can get more conversions and more return on ad spend, or ROAS. Lastly, if you stay to the end, I'm gonna give you a free ROAS checklist so you can go and have these tips on hand anytime there's an issue with your ad account. So number 1, the technical checks. So before you dive into anything too complex or too invasive with your troubleshooting, let's first cover the basics and see if these technical issues are present. Just like if you were to go to a doctor, the first move wouldn't be open heart surgery. It would be checking on your diet. Let's see if we could adjust some medications. Worst case scenario, we do surgery, AKA we change the creative, we change the offer. The foundation of any successful ad campaign lies first in the technical details. So number 1, is it on?
Is this thing on?
I know it's super basic. Is it plugged in? It's a very common question that you get if you're trying to walk your grandmother through how to run her Fire Stick TV, but this is something that you need to check. Are the campaigns on? And Facebook doesn't make it as clear as a simple switch. Typically, there's your campaign level, then you've got your ad set level, and then you've got your ad level. Green lights need to be firing on all 3 levels. If they're grayed out, simply click activate. Now on Google, it's a little bit different. So for Google ads, on the campaign level, you'll check under the status column. There's gonna be a little green light if it's active. If it's inactive, it's gonna be a gray line. You see those 2 parallel lines? Switch it to a green, you're good to go. I know this stuff is basic, but I can't tell you how many times I fired up a campaign, walked away, and then came back and been like, why isn't it spending? Simple things can save you from changing catastrophic changes to the campaign when you don't have to. Another thing that you can look at is your date range. Typically, the date range is in the upper right-hand corner of your ad platform, both on Facebook and on Google. Many times I've done this where I've set up a campaign, it's not working, there's no conversions, but I look back and I have last week selected. So budget checks. This is the next thing you want to look out for. Is the campaign doing what I'm asking of it? If I'm asking the campaign to spend $20 a day, is $20 a day actually being spent? If it's not, if it's coming up short or not even close, that is a red flag that we need to address. So in Facebook Ads Manager, you want to look under the delivery column. If you see limited, this is a warning sign from the platform that maybe your audience isn't big enough or there's some kind of budget issue you need to address. In Google Ads, the dashboard is called the status column. So in the status column, look for eligible. If it says eligible, you know it's eligible to spend and you should be good to go. So say you have one of these warning signs. How do you address it? How do you fix it? Well, for Facebook, your ad might not be spending the full budget because your audience is a little bit too specific. The beautiful thing about Facebook is you can narrow down to the perfect audience. You can do male, female, age, interests, geographic location, marital status, anything that you want to do to narrow in on that exact buyer. But if you get too narrow with all these filters and interests that you can layer on Facebook, your audience gets too small. So start removing some of those elements to open up your audience, make it a little bit bigger, and make it easier for Facebook to spend your ad dollar. Quick example, if you're narrowed into one specific zip code, you might want to remove it and just target the city. Or if you're just targeting the city, maybe move it out to a 50-mile radius around the facility, or even the state, or even the country if you need to open it up that far. Usually, and this is a very broad statement, so this doesn't apply to every single ad, but I typically like to at least have about 70 to 100,000 people in one audience. Now, I've worked with audiences much smaller, 30,000, 15,000 in smaller, more suburban towns, but in the grand scheme of things, I would much rather have a bigger audience than a smaller audience. Now, you can also take this to the extreme where your audience is way too big. I've audited a lot of students' ad accounts in the SMMA blueprint our curriculum. We have over 1,000 students. So I'm getting questions every single week. Hey, my ad's not working. What's wrong with it? And sometimes I see that they have millions and millions of people in their audience and they're spending $5. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that $5 isn't even gonna make a dent in that audience size. Tighten up your targeting, but not too far, or broaden your targeting, but not too much. Now, another budgeting issue that can happen for Google ads is the fact that your keywords aren't spent. This is where you can utilize the search term report in Google. This will show you the actual searches that people are typing into Google versus what you're bidding on. So say you bid on the word fitness, super broad. People might be typing in fitness gyms near me or yoga studios, and there's gonna be all these different results that come under the fitness keyword. You might wanna consider adding some of those as negative keywords. So the search term report will show you the actual keywords that people are typing in. So if you're bidding on a broad keyword like fitness, you might get other keywords that show up like yoga studios, CrossFit gyms, fitness studios near me. Anything like that can show up. And if you're not liking those results and they're not a fit for your brand, you want to adjust the actual keyword and start locking it down, making it tighter and tighter instead of more broad. Just like Facebook, you can take this too far, where you have too specific or too long tail of a keyword where it's too long and not a lot of people are searching for it, and that's going to prevent you from getting your budget spent on a daily basis. So I've got the guide that you can download at the end of this video, but if we're going through some of these checks here, if everything is turned on, you're going through your budget and you're seeing that your audiences are working and all of these things are in the green zone, the next step is the creative. There's two things with ads that most people make mistakes on. Either number one, they're not clear on the action they want the person to take. So is your ad easily understood by glancing at it just in a few seconds? Am I getting the gist of it with the photo or video and the copy? And does it clearly direct the viewer to the next step? An ad without a call to action is like a compass without a needle. You need to point people in the right direction and tell them what to do next. Next, we want to look at the value of the offer. This is crucial because a lot of times I see ads and the call to action or the value of the offer is a free consultation, and they think that's great. Oh, it's free. Why wouldn't somebody want to sign up for that? That's an obligation for somebody. That's going to take up time. So if you're running ads and you're not seeing results and you just have a weak offer, like a free consultation, everybody's doing a free consultation. You need to step it up and make your offer more competitive than the competition. So this brings me to my last point. When we're really diving into the actual offer, there's a spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum, we have an irresistible offer. These are things like giveaways, freemiums, things that you can't refuse, or otherwise known as the Godfather offer. You probably heard that before. And then on this end of the spectrum, these are not the showstoppers. These are the very common free consultation, come on down kind of offers that really aren't going to entice anybody unless they're very hot to buy. So as you can see, troubleshooting your ads is really a mix of art and science. It's blending the technical with the creative. So the first thing I do always is go through the technical checklist. Are these things working? If so, then let's adjust the creative. Then let's take a look at the offer. Far too often I see people start at the last step, and really there was just a couple simple issues with their audiences, their keywords, and their targeting that easily could have been avoided. And that could have been a great ad that was shot in the foot too early in the process. So make sure you follow these in chronological order. And I've got a download that you can click in the description of this video where you can get these steps for free. So you can either hand these to your media buyer or go through this checklist the next time your ads aren't working. If you're looking for more technical support, check out the SMMABlueprint.com. It's over 120 modules, step by step, showing you how to start, grow, and scale your social media marketing agency. It's the top rated course on the market, and don't take my word for it. Give it a Google and see all the reviews out there saying the same exact thing. If you're on the path to growing your own social media marketing agency, I highly recommend checking out this video where I'll show you step by step how to do that. I'll see you over there.